everything was brought through our record company to our management team. So it was more like, we need the guys to do a song on the soundtrack. So that's pretty much how that went with that and White Man Can't Jump, man. It was the upper powers was like, listen, we need to break this group. Let's get them in some, on some movie soundtracks. And that's pretty much how that went. I'm telling you, it was rolling. It was rolling for us, man.
Everything.
I mean, we're thankful, man. We're thankful.
Right. Sounds like like you say, like the stars just lined up for you guys at the right time and right place. Before I move on, I want to go back to, we was talking about the school and stuff, how the principal was strict. Let me ask you a question. Was it really that bad before you got there?
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but there were people being let in, because we didn't have no locked doors. Like the doors, you can just either pull on it real hard and you can just walk in, or you can, people will let them in. And, there was, it was a little Hollywood, but when that scene where he kicked all them people out of school, that really happened. Like, that really happened. Wow. Like, that what brought attention, because not only did he kick out all these kids, he had a meeting with the parents, teachers conference, and he went down there, told them off, and then he started walking around with a bat.
Wow,
yeah, that was true. He was going to get a butt sooner or later if he kept it up. No, sir. Let me stop. Listen, I want to add on, though. I want to add on to that. A year before we got there, before Riff became, freshmen into Eastside High School, he had already thrown out the kids.
Correct.
So we had already heard that, coming from the hood, you know what I mean? There was only 3 schools that you can go to as far as we were concerned. It was either Kennedy High School, Eastside High School, or Tech.
Right.
So, we were on the east side. So we knew we was going to Eastside High School, and we had heard all about it. There was an initiation coming to all the freshmen. Be careful.
You bringing up memories now.
That happens everywhere.
They had us shook. Everybody was like, yo, you got to be careful, man. Like, there's fights up there, the gangs. I mean, you heard the stories. When we got there, though, Mr. Clark had already cleaned that stuff up. You understand what I'm saying? So we had a clear path. There was a few knuckleheads, but trust me, they were handled like, the minute he knew that you were a knucklehead, you were out. He will kick you straight out. No more delay.
Now, hey Green, let me add something to it. And when we were as freshmen, the chain came to the doors.
Yeah, the chains came to the doors.
They came to the doors because it was a lot of people that was trying to get in, drug dealers, which was true, because every city have drug dealers, no matter how you want to look at it. Basically, he prevented from all these stuff coming inside of his school. So he wanted to make sure that we was protected as students. So he made sure the chains went on top of the doors. And because of that, it became a big situation to where now you got the city of Patterson that wants to intervene, and they want to cause a lot of problems for him. And they want to go ahead, because the parents, they didn't like it at all. They felt like we was being treated like animals, when all he was trying to do was basically protect us. And for the most part, when it came down to Eastside High School, always remember it's a beginning and an end. So the reason he came from the public school number 6 was because of how tough he was as a principal inside of the public school, school number 6. So what he did was he had a track record. He wanted to make sure that the people wanted to make sure that the superintendent wanted to make sure that he was able to come to Eastside High School and make the changes that he made for the elementary school. Because Mr. Clark was one tough cookie. He didn't play around with nobody. And it's facts, because obviously parents, they really got really tired of him kicking they kids out, their children out of the school system. If you ain't come to school to learn, listen, you was out. Bottom line, he'll suspend you quick. He'll put you out. He didn't play around, and it's a true saying. Mr. Clark, like it's a lot of Hollywood, like any other movie. But one thing I could say, I was intimidated as a student, not intimidated as like just like somebody that's a bully. Now, if I didn't come to learn, I knew I was getting in school suspension or I was getting sent home, and that was it. You know, it wasn't an easy skate route to where you're going, you know, you come to school, you're playing around now, you think you're going to graduate. Nah, it don't work like that. It didn't work like that with Mr. Clark.
Sounds like we need a lot of more Mr. Clarks.
Man,
yeah.
who you telling?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, let me ask this here question, okay? You guys, you pop off in high school, all right? Now, let's wrap our head around it, because all of us are seasoned a little bit now. Y'all see that little salt and pepper, so we're seasoned. So, everybody's, you know, we popping off. Like you say, your girls are paying more attention to you now. How do you control the big I's and little U's?
Can you answer
I think Joe Clark is a great example of what that's about, because the element of trying to really see what he was trying to do in the bigger scheme of things really prepared you for outside of the high school. You know, controlling that mindset and knowing that, you know, this individual is trying to get you to another place. He's trying to make sure that you're successful. Controlling that, he was a big part of that in most of, you know, the Eastside High School students. Quite different than where we are today, where a lot of people are going any and everywhere they want to go. Controlling that is something that he instilled in you to make sure that you'll become a better person. So controlling that is difficult when you're in the inner city like that. If you know anything about Patterson or know anything about the inner city across the country, you know it's difficult to walk outside and go do the right thing, because there's so many wrong things to do. Controlling it is something that you have to take on yourself and grab that bull by its horns and do whatever you can to make yourself successful. So,
Kind of following up with Heavy's question, kind of like in the same line. We have interviewed several people. We're not going to call no names, but we did interview a group that their success story is a lot different from what you guys are talking about. Now, obviously, everything ain't gonna be peaches and cream all of the time.
Facts.
How have you guys as a group been able to maintain cohesiveness, and has there been any significant turmoil? I mean, when I say significant, meaning maybe the money didn't get sent to the right people, or you know, contracts might not have been fully explained, or is there anything like that you guys experienced as a team, as a group?
Well, I'll answer that. All right. Every group, every body, or every person that has a group where there's a bunch of different people, a bunch of different perspectives, they have some sort of issue going on. Whether you will call it turmoil or disagreement or whatever the case may be, what's important in this group is that everything is above board. It's very important that we stay committed to each other as brothers and that we hold each other accountable. So if we get contracts or if we get something that's a little crazy, everybody is on the phone trying to figure out how we going to make this thing work or how we not going to make it work. It's very important that we stay a unit. We are a group. A group just basically means a bunch of different people coming together. Everybody has different perspectives. Everybody has different understandings, different ideas, different things they got going on in their own personal lives. It's very important that we recognize those things, because somebody could be just upset from what's going on in their life, and the situation that's kind of before them is kind of really throwing them for a loop, and they just can't put it all together. What we normally do is just say, hold on, boys, hold on, fellas, let's table this for a couple of minutes, maybe a day. Let's come back to it when we're calm. That way, when we address it again, it's something that we can really handle and get rid of. At the end of the day, business is just business. It's really not really pointing at any particular person. You know, everybody is trying to make a dollar. Everybody. But we as brothers can come together decide what we're going to do, and decide what we're not going to do. And at the end of the day, it's 5 against 1. If the one person got a different opinion than the other ones, it is what it is. We can't hold our feelings on our shoulders or our sleeves. We just got to check it at the door. At the end of the day, it's for the betterment of the group. So I think we good on that. So
that's obvious. And the reason I asked, go ahead.
I said, Chill has no problem checking me, right? I have no problem checking Mike. I have no problem checking Smooth or Trillio or whatever the case may be. And it's not done out of disrespect. It's done out of love. We love each other, and we're going to make it work. At the end of the day, Riff is at the forefront as a group to make sure that we're giving what we love to do to the world.
Oh yeah, we definitely we check each other, and then at the same time, like you hear things about certain groups because one left because he couldn't lead this song, or he couldn't, or he tired of being in the background. I'm gonna say this to every group that's out there. Think about this, right? Now you mad because you can't get a lead part. But what you got to think about is at the same time.
You're right, though. Maybe. Go ahead. I know where you're going, but maybe.
everything is split 5 ways. So it's like if I get this lead, I ain't gonna get more money than Kenny, Trillio, or Chill. You know what I'm saying? My pay is gonna be the same, but then I have to work harder because I'm in front. I'm ambitiously lazy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give it to me, I'll sing it. If not, I'm still making, I'm still getting the same you getting. So, so the groups, they gotta remember that. You know what I'm saying? It's about the music, it's about the love of music and stuff like that. You always, sometimes it ain't time for you to get up in the forefront. You gotta wait your time. Maybe they're trying to develop you in a certain way, but just be patient.
Correct. Smooth, let me add something to that, if you don't mind. And the thing is this, sometimes, you know what, it's just like you in the household with your family, your wife or whatever, you go to work and you come home from work. Sometimes you want to be in your own man cave, just chilling. So with music being done by a group and they've been together for 25 years, sometimes they want to take a break. You on tour and you touring for 5 years straight. Now you saying, you know what, I want to just relax a little bit and I want to try something different. You try something different, you go out and do new music and you do music by yourself. It doesn't say that your group is, not still together. It's saying that, you know what, we want to try something different because it's another lane right there to where we can get money a different way in that side. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the Jacksons, you know what I'm saying? Jermaine Jackson, he went out and did him a solo record. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson, he went out and did his solo record. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, just because they separated at that moment didn't mean that they wasn't going to come back together. A lot of times, you got a lot of groups that don't do that and they do it for the wrong reason. They don't come back together for the wrong reason because of business not being taken care of the right way. You know what I'm saying? Right. But when you got a group like Riff who disbanded for a little while, it ain't that we disbanded indefinitely. We took a break just to do something a little different on the solo side. And then we came back together to say, you know what, let's go ahead. It's that time again. They need to see the RIFF once again. And that's how we did it.
Right.
Correct.
I take it that, like when you were younger, it's easier probably now to, get things, talked out and hashed out because everybody's, they're grown. We all grown now. Everybody's a big boy now, But when it gets heated a little bit, which one of you guys are the ones that, always the calmer head that steps in and calms everything down?
No.
That would be me.
Kenny.
or Kenny. We'll try to keep the peace. You know what I mean? I'm a peacemaker. Yeah. We try to do that. You know what I mean? We try to get through the day, get through the rehearsal.
Which one of y'all is a bully though? When y'all out, you got to watch him because some heads might fly.
We don't really have bullies. We have cats getting old. Hold on. Let me explain.
Hey, somebody about to let the cat out the bag.
We don't have bullies, but we have that old factor. Like, because when you with somebody for so long, you know, like me, Steven, and Chill, we've been together since we were like 12, 13 years old. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, we grown men now, you know what I mean? So you start to see stuff a little different. I watch my father and my uncles, they sit around, they play spade and they argue, you know what I mean? That's the same thing. And it usually happens in our black communities. You're going to see an argument, 1 or 2 arguments, man. You're going to see that, but they normally come back together. I think, like, for us, we argue like everybody else. You know what I mean? Right. But at the end of the day, our mind is on flatlining these stages. Correct. And
it's so funny. It is so hilarious to see these cats go at it. It is hilarious, man. You hear me?
I don't know, man, because T up there, man, he just been quiet the whole time. You know what I'm saying? We haven't even been able to check his personality to see what's really going on.
I'm the laid back one, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, my earpiece keep going out on me.
Tarinio is the laid back type. The one that he wants to just, you know, come to rehearsal, you know, be at peace, and then, you know, he don't like no type of controversy or anything. Tarinio is that type of guy, you know, on his business, on his pretty boy look, and that's it. But I on a real note, I could truly say 30 years of the music business, not one time have Riff ever had a physical altercation to the point where...
Please don't say that on this thing right now.
No. I'm saying a physical altercation to where
don't say that right now.
Hold on, okay, let me finish. Like, to where we fought or anything, it has never come to that point to where, you know how you hear the stories about New Edition, they fighting, physical altercation. Right. Now, verbal is something different. You're gonna argue, you're gonna disagree, but a physical to where you putting the hands up, like you hear a lot of the groups out there. I've heard it from, I won't call no names, but I've heard multiple groups like go through it with the fighting. Wow. But Riff has never had a physical fist fight altercation. Now we might say, yo, you know what? You need to go ahead. Let's stop this. Let's stop this dance move and let's get it right. That's something totally different. Right. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about like straight arguing to the point where cats is like kicked out of the group and they want to fight now, crash.